Good day. My name is Aditi PR and I'm a first year MBA student at Albershine Institute of Management. And today my presentation is about Introduction to Markets and Theory of Firm. It covers basic concepts of market, its features and importance, and also the types of market and explains how firms make decisions to maximize profit. This topic also helps us to understand how business operates in different market conditions. So, let's dive into the topic. First, let's understand what is a market. A market is a place where buyers and sellers interact to exchange goods and services. This means that there must be a buyer buys things and commodities from the market and a seller who distributes these goods and services inside the market. So there must be a buyer and seller and they must facilitate the exchange of goods and services in the markets. So markets can be both physical like shops and farmers markets and it can be virtual like Amazon online trading platforms and their price in the markets is mainly determined by the demand and supply which helps us to allocate these resources efficiently. There must be an information transparency among the buyers and sellers in the markets so that there is enough amount of price and product information that are accessible to them so that they can use it in the transaction because both sides must know about the product and price details. Fourth, competition. There must be competition among sellers that improves quality and prices of the products. And finally, the price mechanism, which balances the demand and supply and maintain equilibrium. So these are the key features of the market. Now let's move on to markets are important for many reasons. They ensure efficient resource allocation, which is the first importance, which means market channels resources into most productive uses, which ensures minimizing waste and maximizing the societal benefit. They provide customers benefit through more choices and fair prices. So it is customer beneficial and it also contributes towards the business growth by allowing reinvestment and expansion. Next, it is a drive innovator, which means they drive innovation, encouraging firms to improve products and services. And overall, they support economic development while functioning as markets. They contribute towards overall economic growth and employment and prosperity, which means it overall develops the nation and also gives us employment opportunities to different peoples when the market comes in to a society and it also integrates the prosperity. Types of markets. Markets are classified based on number of sellers, degree of competition, and product differentiation. So, market can be divided into four main types, which is perfect competition, monopolistic competition, monopoly, and oligopoly. Perfect competition. Perfect competition means many sellers sell identical products without no control over the price, which means that this is a market with large number of small sellers and buyers. And all these firms sell identical or homogeneous products so that customers does not care where they buy from this product. No single seller can influence the price of the product. So the product price is determined simply by demand and supply of the product. Any firm can join, move in or easily in this type of competition. Now let's move on to monopolistic competition. It means many sellers are there, but they sell differentiated products such as through branding. This means that a single seller dominates the entire market and there are no close substitutes for the product. They have complete control over the demand and supply of the product. So these are the characteristics of monopolistic competition. Now let's move on to monopoly. Only one single seller controls the entire market in monopoly, and they set price, and a single seller dominates the entire market. There are no close substitutes in monopoly for their product, and they have complete control over the entry of new firms, which includes barriers like government rules, patents, or high costs. Now let's move on to oligopoly. In oligopoly, a few large firms dominate the industry and compete strategically. This structure has a few set of large firms and they dominate the industry. The firm's decisions affect others, so they are interdependent together. Their products may be identical, like steel, cement, or they may be differentiated, like cars and airlines. So, they often engage in price wars and there is limited competition or collaboration. Here are the examples of each market types. In perfect competition, we have agricultural commodities like rice and vegetables. These farmers sell similar goods and services, so they can be included in perfect competition. Now, for the example of monopoly, it is Indian Railways, which means they are the sole provider in that area and they only take the control of the market and the entry of other firms are restricted. Now, let's move on to monopolistic competition and its example. This can be seen among clothing brands offering similar products with some uniqueness. And oligopolies example are telecom companies, which is dominated by few major players. Now let's see what is a firm. A firm is a business organization that combines different inputs to produce goods or services for sale. Firms carry out three main functions, which are input acquisition, product decisions, and profit objective. Input acquisitions means getting land, labor, capital, and technology, which are their inputs and they need to acquire them for their production. Second is product decisions. Deciding what and how to produce is the main decisions a firm has to make. So, this is one of the important decisions they have to. They also need to determine how much they need to produce. Next comes profit objective. Profit objective means it is a primary goal of a firm which is to maximize profit and grow sustainably. So, this includes what is a firm. Now, let's understand what is the theory of the firm. Theory of the firm explains how firms make decisions to maximize profits under different market conditions. They analyze the customer demand and understand their preferences so that they can study the production cost and use their resources efficiently. Firms also look at competition to plan strategies. So this theory helps them to decide the best price and the output level to ensure that efficient resources allocation is done in the production which is carried out by them. Now let's move on to cost and revenue concept. To understand profit, firm needs to know their costs and revenues. So the total cost is the expense of production and total revenue is the money earned from selling all the output. And profit is calculated as TR, which is total revenue minus TC, which is the total cost, which is regardless of the output. VC means variable cost depending on the levels like materials and labor cost. So these are the cost and revenue concept. Profit maximization. The main aim of the firm is profit maximization. This happens when marginal revenue is equal to marginal cost. If the cost rises faster than revenue, the firms reduce output. If revenue rises faster, they increase the output. So this ensures firm produce at most efficient level where they can achieve maximum profitability. This is called profit maximization. So for concluding, in short, markets and firms are deeply connected. Markets determine price and competition while firms make production and pricing decisions to maximize profit. Understanding these concepts helps in better decision making in the business. Thank you for listening. Have a good day.